What's up guys, I'm Brett with PrecisionLED.com, and here we have a 2018 Jeep Compass we're going to be performing an LED interior light installation on. Now the 2018 is part of the second generation Compass, so this installation will be compatible with all years 2017 plus. Today we're going to be performing an LED installation on the front map, the rear dome, the vanity mirrors, and the trunk light. Today we'll be installing a PrecisionLED Premium 360 style LED kit, which come with these 3 interior trim tools you see us using throughout the video. We have our serrated knife tool, our fork-shaped wedge tool, and our pointed wedge tool. We're going to start by installing on the front map light. Now as you can see, I've already gone ahead and done the install on the passenger side, so to show you how to install on the driver's side. We're going to be using our fork-shaped wedge tool, the fork portion of the tool, in order to gain access to the bulb here. Now in order to gain access, we're actually going to have to remove this entire overhead console in order to gain access to the back end of the housing. So it's actually pretty simple. There are just 4 clips that are holding this console into place. So we're just gonna start over here just by prying down on one of these corner tabs, and you just wanna go ahead, wedge your tool inside there, and then just twist until the clips come loose, just like so. You just wanna be careful, you just wanna be sure not to snap any of the clips. So we'll just do the same thing on the opposite end. Here we are. So now that the 2 front clips are loose, the 2 rear clips are tabs that are facing towards the rear of the vehicle, and you just want to hold the front overhead console kind of flat towards the roof of the vehicle. Just pull away until those last clips come loose. And also, we're just going to want to have to remove this power cable here. And so here we have the rear of the overhead console. So we've already gone ahead and swapped out the passenger side. So we'll just go ahead, we'll grasp the bulb cable here, which is this gray plug right here. We're just gonna pull it downward and then just pull it out. And here we have the halogen bulb. And so let's just go ahead, we'll remove that with our hands. Just be careful, if the light was on previously, it can be pretty hot. And so here we have the LED that we'll be installing. So we'll just pop that in. Now it's important to note that these LEDs, they're non-polarity specific, so you can pop them in any orientation and they should turn on. So now we'll just go ahead, we'll pop that power cable back into the socket. And lastly, we'll just reconnect this power cable here. And before reinstalling the overhead console, let's just test the light. Everything looks good. And now when installing, we're first just going to want to line up these 2 rear tabs accordingly. And once those are lined up, let's just line up these 2 front tabs and just apply some pressure. Now we'll be installing on the rear dome light. Now, in order to gain access to the bulb, we're actually going to have to remove this entire rear assist handle. And in order to do so, we're actually going to have to first loosen up these front plates that are at the front of the rear assist handle, just right here. There's a small groove in the side that'll help us loosen those up. And the reason why we're loosening these up is because once these are pried outward, then the clip behind it comes loose. And once you lock these into place, then the clip behind it locks into place. So let's just pull these out, just like so. And we're doing this with our fork-shaped wedge tool. Just do the same thing with the opposite side. And once you have these clips loose, you just want to take your free hand, just go ahead and grasp the clip and just pry outward. Okay, and now that we have one side loose, or removed rather, just do the same thing on the opposite end. And you can also use one of your tools in order to pry from behind the socket now that you have one side loose. And now that we have everything removed, let's just remove this power cable here. And now we'll just take this rear assist handle and we'll disassemble it at a workbench. So now that we have the complete rear assist handle removed from the vehicle, we're just going to go ahead, we're going to pry this black back plate off in order to access the halogen bulb. And in order to do so, we're just going to have to pry these 2 clips. So we're just going to be taking our pointed wedge tool. We're going to be prying just in between the back plate and the socket right here. Just go ahead, wedge in there, and just twist out. Create a little bit of separation. Flip the handle around and just do the same thing on the last clip. Just like so. Just twist it. And in order to access the halogen bulb, we're just going to be taking our pointed wedge tool again. We're going to be prying opposite from the switch side, so right over here. Just go ahead, wedge the tool in and twist out. And now we have access to the halogen bulb. So let's just pry that out. We're going to be prying from underneath the bulb, just pushing outward. There we go. And so here we have our LED, so we'll just pop that in. And these LEDs, once again, they're non-polarity specific, so you can pop them in any orientation and they should work perfectly fine. Now we can just reinstall the front plate. Now we're first just going to want to line up the side, the switch side first, just like so. And once all the other clips are lined up, just apply some pressure until they lock into place. And now we can just reinstall the housing back into the rear assist handle. Now we're first just going to want to line up the two larger flat tabs just onto the smaller sockets here at the bottom of the handle, just like so. And then we'll just apply a little bit of pressure on these upper tabs until those lock into place. So now that we have the LED installed, we can just go ahead and reinstall the rear assist handle. So we're gonna just want to line up these clips accordingly, just like so, and that's gonna lock everything into place. But before installing, you're just gonna wanna be sure that these front cover tabs right here, that those are pulled out. When you pull those out, you actually give these clips a little bit of leeway in order to pry down and lock everything into place. So let's just make sure, just pry these out, just like so. And now with those clips out, these clips right here, they pry together in order to lock the entire rear assist handle into place. We'll just do the same thing on the opposite side. Now before reinstalling the handle, let's just go ahead, reconnect this power cable here. And as you can see, everything's working perfectly fine. So now we'll just line up these tabs accordingly. And just apply a bit of pressure until everything locks into place. And then we'll lock everything down by prying these tabs inside. Now we'll be installing on the vanity mirror lights. Now as you can see, I've already gone ahead and done the install on one side, so we're going to show you how to do the install on the opposite side. We're going to be using the flat portion of our serrated knife tool in order to gain access to the bulb. Now we're actually going to be we're going to have to remove this entire console housing in order to gain access to the rear of the lights. But it's pretty simple to remove. We're just going to be taking the flat portion of the tool. We're going to be coming in from underneath the entire casing here, and then once you're pried in there, just go ahead and twist outward and you'll release a couple clips just like so, and there we go. And now we have access to the lights here. Now you can try to remove the bulbs just with your bare hands, but they're pretty difficult. A trick that we found in order to remove the bulbs easier is just to take a small piece of tape, and you just want to make sort of a U shape like so. You just go ahead, wrap that around the halogen bulb, just like so, as you can see there. And you just want to take the tail end of the tape and just yank the bulb out. And so here we have our LED that we'll be installing, so we'll just pop that in. As you can see, everything looks good. So now we can just reinstall this vanity mirror housing. So we're first just going to want to line up these two top tabs accordingly. Just be sure that the fabric is inside of the housing. Once those tabs are in place, just apply a little bit of pressure on the bottom tabs until those lock into place. So now I'll be installing on the trunk light. We're going to be using our pointed wedge tool in order to gain access to the bulb here. Now this lens, there's actually just one tab that's holding it into place, which is just right up here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to be taking our pointed wedge tool here. We're going to be prying down from the top of that tab, and it will release the whole lens, and we'll just use our hand just to remove the rest of it. And next we're just going to want to be removing this power cable right here. Now there's just a small tab that's holding it into place, which is right here. And so we're going to be taking our pointed wedge tool, we're going to be prying that tab downward, and it will release the power cable. Now we're going to want to gain access to the halogen bulb, which is just right inside here, and in order to do so we're going to have to remove this back plate, and you can do so just by loosening up a couple of these tabs that are towards the power connector portion of the plate. And then once those are loose, you just want to slide it up, and then it should come release pretty easily. And next we'll just remove the halogen bulb with our bare hands. We'll grab our LED bulb that we'll be installing, so we'll just pop that in. And now we can just reinstall the back plate. Now you just want to slide the back plate over the front lens, just kind of exactly how you removed it. Just slide it over and it should all lock into place. And after that's locked into place, let's just go ahead. We could reconnect the power cable here. And next we could just reinstall the lens back into the trunk. You just want to be sure that the power cable is facing towards the bottom of the vehicle, so towards the tires. We'll just line that up and then just apply a little bit of pressure to clamp that last tab into place.
And that's the end of the installation. If you have any questions or concerns, please email us at help@precisionled.com, or you can reach us online and submit a support ticket at www.precisionled.com/contact. Now, like we said before, please like or subscribe if you enjoyed the video or enjoyed the process for what we do. It really does help us out when we make the next one, knowing that there's people out there watching the videos. Have a good one.